post-graduation in Mumbai, there was a project which was supposed to be submitted. It was a kind of innovation project, and the moment I presented the project to the jury decided that the project was a failure. So I was completely devastated. I went and spoke to our college dean then, and I still remember what he told to me, because that's a learning which I carry all along, and this is a day when I remember this on Teachers' Day. And what he told me was that congratulations on your failure. Failure is a part of the process, it's not a finishing line. So please embrace failure. What failure does is it keeps you come closer to your dream or to your goal. And I have been living with this rule in my life all year long. And I miss my professor. His name was Dr. J.D. Mehta. So Namaste J.D. Mehta. Happy Teachers' Day to you. And I would like to share these learnings with you, that in the quest for your success, please do not fear of your failures. Failures are important and they help you teach a new lesson. And it's important for you to continue this journey and do not take mistakes of repeating the failure.
So I actually went to a boarding school, and my principal was this lovely, warm lady. Her name was Mrs. Vijaya Ramamurthy. She would always say that, remember in life that this too shall pass. Way back in class 7 or 8, you're just kids and you're obviously oblivious to everything else. This didn't really mean much. But as we grow older and as life happens, moments of extreme happiness, moments of despair, moments of pain, I hear her voice at the back of my head always saying that this too shall pass. Now, this is something that has stayed with me since then. And, in a situation that we are today, I think just the belief that this too shall pass could help us navigate through this entire situation. So, she's not with us anymore, and she passed away a few years back. But I do miss her deeply. And I hope that this is something that will help you too.
I clearly remember the incident like it happened yesterday. It was during my MBA days. Our marketing class was supposed to start at 10. I got a little late on that day, had a quick breakfast and made a dash for it, and had a huge sigh of relief when I saw the professor was still taking the attendance. I heard him call up roll number 26. My roll number was 24. I very politely requested him, "Sir, 24. He looked at me and very politely said, "Next time." I didn't understand. I requested him once again, and he replied the same thing. I didn't understand. I was very upset. I didn't pay attention to what he taught that day. The moment class got over, I went up to him and asked him, "Sir, why did you mark me absent? I was almost on time." And then what he told me was so profound. He said, "Mukund, you were supposed to be on your seat before I enter the class. And moreover, I sincerely believe that if you're late by a minute or two, it's very clear that you didn't plan your day well. If you're late by an hour, I would like to believe that you had genuine problem. Remember this." And believe me, I'm ever grateful to him for the lesson that he taught me.
Yes, I believe my dad has been my biggest support system for me, and I believe that he's my true teacher in life. As a child, I wasn't really someone who was into studies too much, or maybe very studious, or what we call kitabi kida. But somewhere in the mind, as a child you think that only toppers can succeed in life, or only if you secure good marks, or maybe you are a first or a second ranker, then only you are able to get what you want in life. But that was my dad who made me feel that we all have that potential of becoming whatever we want to. So I can become anything that I want is one of the greatest lessons that I've learned from him. So we all have an halo effect. We all have the wings behind. Probably someone else from outside cannot see that. Only person who can look into the wings is me, my own self. So when I want a particular thing, when I want something in my life, the locus of control lies within me.
My principal taught me a very hard-hitting lesson in my life, which for years now I have been carrying with me. So, in one of the open house sessions, I asked her, "Ma'am, what should one be? Should one be restless or should one be patient?" So she gave a very interesting reply. She said, "Sanjeev, you should be restless to achieve what you want in life, and be patient for the results to flow into you. And just look at the duck, very calm on the surface and working hard below the surface, just paddling madly. So that is restlessness. Patience is on top, on the surface. So keep a face which is always smiling and welcoming, so that you come across as a personality who is looked upon and who is approachable. That will help you as a leadership skill in future. Plus, when you are working towards your goals, make a system and process wherein you develop a set of questions which tell you where the progress is going, whether it's going in the right direction or not. So you as an individual should know the right questions to be asked for a better understanding and better tracking whether things are going in the right path or not.
Teachers are like pottery makers. They definitely shape you up and have a lasting impression in our lifetime. My learnings of my life has been from the sports field, where I was into hockey and a right forward and was pretty good at dribbling, as well as our entire team was pretty much in the craft. But individually, there was something missing. Then came Havaldar Suresh. Mine was an army school and we used to have deputation from army. And this person was a thorough professional. He observed all of us together because we used to play professionally. He observed all of us very, very minutely for a few days. And one day he called all of us and shared his pearls of wisdom with us that whenever you start playing, and it is all about teamwork, you are as good as your team is. You need to understand your opponent. You need to understand who you are playing against. When you are in the field, stick on to the strategy. Trust each other. These are the few pearls of wisdom which he has passed on to us. And then working on those very, very minutely, we emerged out as one of the best teams ever of our school. And these lessons of life has stayed with me forever. So I want to pass on big thank you to my teacher, Havaldar Suresh. Thank you.
Over the course of my life, I have been fortunate enough to be mentored and to be taught by a number of wonderful teachers, both in my school and college days, as well as in my work life. But if I were to pick up one moment or one interaction with a teacher of mine which really left a huge impact on who I am today, I would pick up a gentleman by the name of Greg Hawk. This was when I was going through a certification for Dale Carnegie training as a master trainer. And this was a very high stake moment for me because depending on how you perform in the certification, they will decide whether you get the job or not, whether you get certified or not, or whether you get to the next level or not. So, like anybody else, I was nervous. I wanted to do a good job. At the same time, I wasn't very sure if I should really go out there and be very creative or stick to the script, and so many questions in my mind. Finally, I decided to do something really out of the box and really innovative, but that voice in my head kept on telling me that, hey, play safe, if it bombs, you're gone. So I went to my teacher, my master trainer, Greg Hawk, for his advice and asked him, saying, Greg, this is what I wanted to do in the certification event. And then I hesitated. So he looked at me and said, okay, so what's the problem? And I said, well, I don't really know whether it will work or not. So he smiled, looked into my eyes and said, Kedar, there's only one way to really find out, isn't it? And he just walked away. That one sentence saying there is only one way to find out has really stayed with me for all these years. When we talk about our growth behaviors like version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, or curiosity, something that we realize is that a lot of time it is not the ideas that stops a person from being creative or curious. It is the confidence or it is the risk taking.
So this relates to the school days where I was in my junior school. I was trying to focus more on education, academics, as against my passion of sports. And I tried to study hard. However, when the results came, I realized that I had not scored as much as I wanted to. I had not scored as much as the other kids with whom, I was trying to have a competition of sorts. And I was pretty sad. My teacher walked up to me and said, why do you look so sad? And I told him, sir, that I think I have not scored as well as the other kids. And he told me something that has stayed on with me for life till now. And subconsciously, consciously, it stays with me that he said that if you will always compare your success and your results with others, you will have situations where you will not be matching with them. Never look at others, never compare others' success with yours. You should focus more on what is it that you could have done better, what is it that you achieved, and then probably compare it with others to learn more and not get disheartened or feel proud if you score better than them, because that may not be up to your potential. So always look at your potential, your journey, your targets. Where are you coming from? Where do you want to go? Because everyone has a different journey.
Where we were having a teacher with the name John. We used to call her Mrs. John. She used to teach us English, and during her free time and then free period, she used to come and teach us some life lessons. And those days, as children, as a childhood mentality, student mentality, we were not very happy that she was not allowing us, because she was not allowing us to go and play in the ground. She used to make sit and then give us life lessons and then other things. Like few of them are like, he always told us that right now you are in 9th standard, 10th standard. If you move along with the time is okay, but going forward, when you get into colleges, when you get into your professional life, you will have to move ahead of the time. So you'll have to gain an ability to move ahead of the time
that will keep you, successful in life. That's something which he taught us, and which very well I can relate now in my current role, and then current generation, current situations in the market. If you see, this is very much applicable. One should definitely have an ability to move ahead of the time.
As a teacher, I would actually recall my very first manager in HCCB. I learned truly a lot of things from him. A couple of things that I do recall and that stays with me even today is attention to detail. That is something that he taught me. Every time I would go with some working or a paper to him, he would always take a look at it and point out errors and tell me that, did you proofread this yourself? And I would say, no, I didn't. Over time, when I would get feedback on, how I didn't look at the most obvious mistakes, I got trained under him to actually look at details. And that's something that I carry with me even today. And the other thing that I would always remember that he taught me was how one needs to stand up for the team, which he always did. If the team is right and is doing the right thing, he would always be there for us, and take our case forward. So that's the other thing that I learned from him.
In school, I used to be great at extracurriculars. I participate in a great deal of debate competitions, external speaking competitions, and win a lot in those competitions. However, when it came to academics, it was very different. I was a very poor student. My principal and I shared a great relationship when I was in school, and she told me repeatedly on multiple occasions that it's great that you're doing things where you get to express yourself, but your formal education is the baseline of what you will end up achieving in your entire life, and you have to make sure that foundation is strong. For a very long time, I didn't really care about what she said because I thought it's something that all teachers and parents always say, that you should study more. However, my principal then took a step where she told me that I could not participate in any of these competitions till the time I didn't achieve at least 85% in my term exams. I hated her for that at that particular point of time. But in retrospect, and when I look at today, had it not been for her, I'm today working with HCCB in a leadership position at a very young age, and a very large part of that is because of the formal education that I have attained. So on this Teachers' Day, I would like to thank my school principal for having the vision for me that I did not have for myself.